Welcome to the LinkedIn Sales Navigator portion of the course. As of this recording, LinkedIn Sales Navigator costs $70 per month. That is the only expense you'll have to pay to run your LinkedIn business. Before we get into the lead generation portion of this course, we must first create a list to save leads to. Once you're at the LinkedIn Sales Navigator dashboard, click on the Leads tab at the top of the screen. Then, in the upper right-hand corner, click Create New List. Name your list and then click Create. Now, click on the Lead filter. Now, we are on the LinkedIn Sales Navigator Lead Gen page. This might seem complex, but it's really not because you won't need half of these filters. Let's talk about how it works. Most services, and I'm talking generally here, that you sell will be to small businesses. Why? Because a lot of businesses that need products and services are just starting out, and they're relatively small. With that being said, let's talk about company size. The price of your product and your current standing in the market will determine which company size you should target. Always keep in mind that the smaller the company size you target, the higher the probability of making a sale. For example, financial services, SaaS services, or technology services with a company size of 11 to 50 will most likely be able to afford a monthly service that costs anywhere between $200 to $3,000. The top of that spectrum, being a company size from 40 to 50, will generally be able to afford a product that costs $2,500 to $3,000. A company size of 30 to 40 will be able to afford $2,000 to $2,500. A company size of 20 to 30, $1,500 to $2,000, and a company size of 1 to 20, $200 to $1,500. These are, of course, general guidelines, and some companies, regardless of size, will have more money than others. On top of that, you have to take into account the market price for services/products similar to yours. The next thing you want to look at is the seniority level. Most companies with 1 to 10 or 10 to 50 people won't always have formal departments, and a lot of them won't be decision makers. A good rule to follow is to target either the VP, CEO, owner, or CXO. Once a company size exceeds 50, it will be harder to get in contact with the top decision makers. So, for example, if you are selling marketing services and targeting companies above 50 employees, you could target someone like the head of marketing instead of the CEO to increase your chances of a successful outreach. Now, let's move on to which industries you should target. Go back to your template for a second. Really think about who would need your product or service the most. Remember to stray away from thinking your product or service is for everyone. I'll give you an example. If I'm in financial services, I'm going to target law practices, retail, cosmology, etc. I know that these companies typically have a tough time pricing their products and will probably need help managing their funds. One thing I want to mention is, let's say you have a specific niche that you know you can't help or don't want to deal with. You can go to the exclude filter here, so these companies will not show up once you start searching for leads. Okay, let's talk about the function filter. Within industries, people will obviously have different job titles that you may or may not be interested in targeting. This is where the function filter comes in handy. LinkedIn, as a search algorithm, operates a lot like Google. When they're building a list of results for you to message, they look for certain keywords that match your search criteria. It's also important that you take advantage of the exclude filter here as well to narrow down your lead list. For example, if I'm targeting retail companies as a marketer because I want to promote their products, it would be a good idea to exclude consulting because I don't want leads to pop up that offer consulting for retail industry companies. Let's go to the school filter. This rarely matters when it comes to LinkedIn, but for some, it will be useful if you want to target certain alumni. Another way to think about it is this. Let's say you went to a prominent school and you have it listed in your bio. You can narrow down your search to only target people who went to your university. But who cares, right? Wrong. Anything you can do to relate to your customer is a plus and can be used to close a sale. I would use a mutual school as an icebreaker for my connection message under the guise of trying to connect with fellow alumni. So, although you probably won't use the school filter a lot, if you want to mess with it a bit, it's worth a shot. I've actually had some success with this strategy in the past. Okay, let's move on to years and current position. You won't need to use this filter in the majority of your campaigns. If you're really trying to target newer companies, you can use this as a way to narrow down your lead list by selecting a low years and current position filter along with using the owner seniority filter. Years and current company is a better way to do this because if we target owners and CEOs, we basically know how long they've been in business. Remember, it's always better to get the low-hanging fruit first, so newer companies will be your bread and butter. Bigger clients will come from referrals once you've started building your business up on LinkedIn. Profile language. If you're targeting a region like Europe, make sure you set the profile language to English to avoid targeting companies who don't speak English. If this isn't a concern of yours, then just leave this filter blank. Now I want to talk about the connection filter. Let me explain the different degrees of a connection. Third degree connections are people you don't know or don't share any mutual connections with. Second degree connections are people who are connected with one of your connections but not connected with you. A first degree connection is someone you personally are connected with. So, which one should you target? My answer is it depends on you. If you don't want to target anyone you know, then just exclude first and second degree connections. If you don't care, all you have to do is not touch this filter and it will automatically include everyone. Next, you want to go to the geography filter. It's okay to be broad if you can provide your services remotely. If not, just stick to locations within your area. So once I put these filters in, I'm going to press search. And as you can see, I have a lot of results right now. Remember, you're only going to send about 150 messages a week. So this list will last you quite a while, and the pool of people you can reach out to will refresh after a certain time period. You might get a few people in your results that have nothing to do with your industry, but just remember that LinkedIn Sales Navigator is not perfect. One way to optimize your targeting even more is by using keywords. Let's say I'm a CPA who wants to target law firms. On top of the filters I've already set, I can type in the keyword phrase law office in quotations just like this. Now, LinkedIn will only search for profiles that have the phrase law office in their profiles. This is where LinkedIn becomes more of a skill than a straightforward science. Try to think of creative keywords to optimize your targeting so your list will have better leads. The other filters on this list are generally not needed and you can leave them blank. Once you have a lead that interests you, click Save and then add them to your list. Once you've got your list finished, head back to the Leads tab and click on your list. Select the lead you want to connect with and then hit Connect. Copy and paste your connection message into the box and hit Send. Once they've accepted your connection request, the message will appear in your inbox. You can monitor who has not accepted your connection request by going to My Network on your LinkedIn page and clicking on Manage Invitations. Okay, you're done with targeting. Now let's talk about message review. At this point in time, I want you to open your message review sheet in your bonus materials section.